The records showed room 814 empty and sealed when the necklace vanished. So why were there two closing seals stamped 11 minutes apart? Evelyn Mora was an executive housekeeper, the person a luxury hotel trusts to say a room is empty and sealed, which was exactly why the missing necklace became her fault. She had closed room 814 after checkout at 11:42. Her housekeeping tablet logged the inspection, the minibar count, and a numbered paper seal placed across the door and the frame. Then at 12:16, a guest named Lenora Price came back for her passport and found the diamond necklace gone from the room safe. Security manager Adrian Pike produced lock records showing no one had entered after Evelyn left. But Evelyn had found something he never expected her to check. Two seals on that door, both carrying her own employee number, applied 11 minutes apart. Evelyn was 52, an executive housekeeper who had worked at the Halcyon Hotel for 27 years. Adrian was 39, a former casino investigator who had run hotel security for 5. General Manager David Lynn asked Evelyn why her seal appeared unbroken if someone entered. She lifted one corner. A second strip remained underneath, printed with the same employee number and room code. Its adhesive was still clear. The upper seal had begun collecting corridor dust. Someone opened the door, removed Evelyn's original seal, entered the suite, and replaced it with a duplicate. Adrian said housekeeping staff printed spare seals in rolls. He suggested one of Evelyn's attendants used her supervisor code. The safe audit showed Lenora opened it at 8:03 and again at 11:19. She said the second opening never happened. Adrian called the claim suspicious. Lenora had insured the necklace 2 weeks earlier and was facing a divorce. The hotel offered a private settlement if she withdrew the police report. Lenora refused. She said the necklace belonged to her grandmother and had been photographed at breakfast that morning. Evelyn looked at the two seals. The room had not merely been entered. It had been declared empty twice. Scene: hotel housekeepers preparing linen carts before a convention checkout. Evelyn supervised 90 rooms during the medical convention turnover. She assigned attendants, inspected departures, and carried a master key that recorded every electronic use. Adrian's audit showed Evelyn entered 814 at 11:31 and exited at 11:42. No later key appeared. Attendant Rosa Kim cleaned the room while Lenora attended a closing session. She remembered the necklace case inside the open safe but never touched it. Lenora said she closed the safe before breakfast. Both accounts could not be complete. Adrian suspended Rosa and removed Evelyn's master credentials. He said the hotel needed to preserve public trust before Lenora's accusation reached convention organizers. Evelyn knew why management preferred an internal theft. Housekeeping employees were replaceable. A security failure in occupied suites could cost the hotel its medical and jewelry conventions. She also knew attendants sometimes borrowed supervisor seals when printers failed. Her number on the duplicate did not prove Adrian made it. David gave her 24 hours to explain chain of custody before reporting her supervision failure to corporate management. Evelyn asked him to preserve every device before anyone left the building. David agreed to lock the seal printer and safe console but allowed Adrian to retain his security laptop during the active convention. Evelyn wrote the exception into her incident notes and sent a copy to her union representative. She had learned that a verbal promise to preserve records usually meant someone else would later summarize what survived. Adrian saw her send the message and asked whether she trusted him. Evelyn answered that trust was not a chain of custody. Evelyn asked to weigh Rose's linen cart. Hotel carts passed over a service corridor floor scale so laundry contractors could bill by weight. Rose's cart gained 12 kilograms between floors 8 and 9, then lost the same amount before reaching the chute. Sheets from one room could explain the change. Rose's route sheet showed no pickup during that interval. Adrian said scale sensors drifted when carts stopped off-center. Evelyn requested the raw readings. He had already summarized them and deleted the temporary file under the hotel's retention schedule. Scene: technician reading an electronic hotel lock with a handheld device. The door lock stored its own events. A manufacturer technician downloaded them under police supervision. Evelyn's master key was the last credential accepted. After 11:42, the lock recorded no valid opening until Lenora returned with the front desk key at 12:14. Adrian appeared cleared. The technician explained that the audit recorded electronic credentials. The latch could still retract mechanically from inside, and an emergency key could open the cylinder without entering the electronic log. Adrian's emergency keys remained in a sealed cabinet. Camera footage showed the cabinet untouched. Lenora became the easiest explanation. She could have removed the necklace herself, closed the safe, and returned with a claim. Police found debt notices in her luggage. Evelyn's first theory failed. The second seal established replacement but not unauthorized room entry. Lenora might have created it using a discarded strip. Rosa admitted leaving and used seals on her cart. She also admitted stepping away for 6 minutes to help another attendant. Adrian said the weight increase came from someone placing luggage on the cart during those 6 minutes. He released footage showing Lenora's large black case near the service corridor. The image turned suspicion back toward the guest. Evelyn enlarged it. The case crossed the corridor at 10:58, before room 814 was cleaned. Could not explain a cart change after noon. Adrian had used genuine footage from the wrong time. When Evelyn asked for the full corridor file, he said privacy rules prevented her from viewing other guests. Scene: hotel door latch examined beneath angled forensic light. Evelyn inspected room 814 with the lock technician. Along the inside face of the latch was a thin purple transfer mark. Halcyon housekeeping seals used purple security ink that stained when peeled after bonding. The mark sat where no exterior seal should touch. Someone had folded a fresh strip around the latch, closed the door without engaging it, and pulled the strip free from the corridor. That allowed the door to appear sealed while remaining unlatched. After entry, the person applied the visible replacement. Adrian said an attendant could perform the same trick. The technician agreed. The latch mark proved method, not identity. Evelyn requested the seal printer log. Each roll contained sequential numbers, but the visible duplicate carried the same number as her original, not the next number. It was a copy printed from a retained digital template. Only supervisors and security could access archived seal images used for incident reports. Adrian produced access records showing Evelyn opened the template archive 3 days earlier. He asked her to review photographs from a minibar dispute. Her own login now supported the duplicate. Evelyn returned to the latch. Beneath the purple transfer was a fine gray powder used on security fingerprint brushes. Housekeeping did not carry it. Adrian said investigators contaminated the latch after the theft report. The technician had photographed the mark before security dusted the door. The powder was already there. Scene: offline hotel key encoder hidden inside a security equipment cabinet. The hotel used a portable key encoder during network outages. It issued temporary cards from a local memory counter and uploaded records when reconnected. Adrian stored it in the security office. Its upload history showed no use for 3 months. The physical counter displayed 17 more cards than the network record. Someone generated 17 keys while keeping the encoder offline, then cleared the pending upload before reconnecting it. The manufacturer said deleting pending records required a service code. Adrian and one regional technician knew it. Adrian blamed the technician. The man had visited twice and held a hotel master while servicing locks. Travel records placed him in another state on the day Lenora's necklace vanished. Evelyn asked whether an offline card still appeared in a door audit. The technician said yes, but it could be programmed as an emergency mechanical emulation credential used by security during evacuations. Those openings registered only as latch service, not a named key. Room 814's raw audit contained one latch service event at 12:01. Adrian's summary omitted it. The same event code appeared in 6 prior guest disputes. In every case, Adrian's report translated it as automatic maintenance and excluded the raw line. The manufacturer said the lock could create that code during testing, but no work orders covered those rooms at those times. Evelyn plotted each event against housekeeping closures. 5 occurred within 20 minutes of a departure inspection. The 6th occurred while a guest attended a ballroom dinner. The pattern did not prove theft in every room. It showed the omitted event repeatedly appeared where the hotel's preferred account required no entry. The event matched the 11 minutes between Evelyn's original seal and the cleaner duplicate. Adrian said he removed meaningless diagnostic noise. Evelyn now had a hidden access system and a misleading summary. She still needed to show who held the card at 12:01 and where the necklace went. The cart scale offered the next step. 12 kilograms was too heavy for jewelry and too exact to be random linen. Security equipment cases used to transport convention valuables weighed 12 kilograms empty. Scene: hotel service corridor with a linen cart and hard security case. Rosa remembered returning to her cart and finding the lower shelf curtain closed. She assumed Evelyn had reorganized supplies. The scale sequence showed 12 kilograms added outside the security office, carried to floor 8, and removed near the loading elevator. A freight camera angle showed only the top of the cart. At 11:54, a black handle rose briefly above the linen. The handle matched hard cases issued to hotel security. Adrian said cases moved constantly during conventions. Inventory listed all 6 cases in storage. Evelyn noticed one serial photograph had a different will scratch from the physical case in that slot. Security had photographed the same case twice under 2 numbers. Police opened the unaccounted case after locating it in Adrian's vehicle locker. Contained no necklace. Foam inserts held labeled property envelopes from prior incidents, all officially returned or settled. One envelope contained a guest's antique watch reported missing 8 months earlier. The hotel had paid the guest under a confidentiality agreement after Adrian concluded she misplaced it. Another held cuff links from a convention attendee who withdrew his complaint. The system was larger than room 814. Evelyn felt relief that the evidence cleared Rosa, followed immediately by shame. She remembered 2 attendants who resigned after earlier accusations and one guest she privately described as confused. Adrian's files had made each incident look separate. The case transformed only when the raw events were placed side by side. Evelyn contacted the former employees before corporate counsel could frame them as possible accomplices. One agreed to speak. The other asked never to hear from the hotel again. Clearing a record did not restore the months spent believing no one inside the building would listen. Adrian said he kept recovered property because guests later disputed returns. He produced signed release forms. Several signatures looked genuine. Evelyn contacted the former guests. 2 said Adrian delivered cash settlements and asked them to sign blank receipt pads. They never recovered the objects. The hotel had quietly purchased silence while security kept the valuables. Lenora's necklace was still missing. Scene: hotel guest reviewing safe records and breakfast photographs. Lenora admitted opening the safe at 11:19. She had denied it because the reason embarrassed her. She removed the necklace to photograph it for a lender, then returned it before leaving the room. Divorce expenses and debt made the insurance policy look suspicious. Her phone photographs carried a mirror reflection. In the background, the necklace case sat open inside the safe at 11:22. A room clock and live financial channel supported the time. Lenora closed the safe after the photograph. The lock recorded only opening, not closure. Adrian knew about her debt because the insurer contacted hotel security. He expected police to treat her as a claimant manufacturing loss. Evelyn asked Lenora to identify every person who saw the necklace. At breakfast, Adrian approached her table after a security guard reported that jewelry was visible. He offered storage in the hotel's central vault. Lenora declined. Adrian selected targets through ordinary risk reports, then entered after checkout or during convention sessions. Guests with debt, divorce, alcohol complaints, or uncertain memories were easier to discredit. Those reports existed for legitimate reasons. Staff recorded visible valuables, welfare concerns, and requests for additional security. Adrian converted protective information into a list of vulnerabilities. Lenora's divorce appeared because she requested that her spouse receive no duplicate key. Another guest's medication appeared because she needed a refrigerator. The hotel had gathered details to serve them safely. Once Adrian controlled incident review, the same details became ready-made explanations for why their complaints should be doubted. He did not steal from every room. He chose claims management could settle privately. Rose's cart and Evelyn's seal gave him a housekeeping path when camera coverage was crowded. Lenora asked whether Evelyn believed her now. Evelyn said belief was not the same as proof. The photograph established the necklace remained in the room after 11:19. The latch event established entry at 12:01. The missing security case established transport. They still needed the necklace or a record of its disposal. Scene: pawn records and hotel guest property photographs on a table. Adrian did not sell stolen property through ordinary pawn shops. He owed money to a private collector named Martin Say, who financed high-stakes gambling trips. Martin accepted watches and jewelry against Adrian's balance. He kept photographs of each item with the debt amount. Police obtained those records after tracing messages from Adrian's second phone. Lenora's necklace appeared in a photograph taken at 1:07, 51 minutes after she reported the loss. Martin claimed Adrian said the hotel owned abandoned property. The necklace was in a safe at his office and had not been dismantled. The photograph also showed 3 objects from prior confidential settlements. Serial and appraisal records matched the missing guest property. Adrian's motive was not a hotel sale, a family inheritance, or an attempt to destroy Evelyn's career. He had built a debt payment system around the hotel's instinct to protect its name. Every quiet settlement taught him which guests management would doubt and which staff positions could absorb blame. Evelyn confronted David with the case. He focused first on retrieving property and keeping the convention client. He proposed paying victims, dismissing Adrian, and describing the matter as one employee's misconduct. Evelyn refused to sign that statement. The hotel had repeatedly accepted Adrian's summaries, restricted full footage, and treated housekeeping access as the default explanation. David asked whether she wanted the entire hotel destroyed over failures she had also missed. Evelyn said she wanted every affected guest and employee told what the records now showed. Scene: model hotel room prepared for an operational reconstruction. Police did not need Evelyn to perform the entry method, but corporate investigators did not understand how an electronically secure room could be opened without a named key. Evelyn arranged a reconstruction in a model suite with union representatives, lock technicians, victim counsel, and corporate auditors present. The technician issued an offline service credential and recorded its counter. Rosa applied a numbered seal. An investigator used the latch fold already documented in 814, closed the door, and entered with the service card. The lock stored only a latch service event. The seal could be replaced with a printed duplicate. No one demonstrated safe bypass or theft. The safe in the model remained open. The reconstruction addressed only the disputed room state and audit sequence. Corporate counsel repeatedly asked the technician whether another employee could reproduce the sequence. He said yes. That answer did not weaken the reconstruction as much as counsel expected. Evelyn had never claimed a unique trick identified Adrian. Identity came from access to the offline encoder, deleted counter gap, omitted summaries, vehicle locker, debt messages, and property photographs. The model room showed that his reports called an entered room secure. The rest of the case showed who benefited from that false state. Then the linen cart crossed the floor scale with an empty security case. The 12-kilogram pattern matched 814th roll readings. Adrian's summaries had removed the two events that joined the method: latch service and cart weight. Corporate counsel asked why Evelyn had not detected duplicate seals earlier. She answered that workers were trained to report broken seals, not compare layers after management declared a room secure. The company could fire Adrian and keep that blind spot, or change what information attendants were allowed to see. Former guests joined by video and identified recovered property. Rosa's suspension ended. Her record was corrected to show that her cart had been used without consent. For the first time, the incident did not end with one guest signing a quiet receipt. Scene: hotel management meeting with employee representatives present. Corporate management offered Evelyn a promotion to regional rooms director if she helped present the reforms. The role came with a confidentiality clause covering prior settlements. Evelyn declined. She had spent years teaching attendants to protect the hotel by keeping problems inside the department. Adrian used the same instinct at a larger scale. A promotion would turn her discovery into another private correction managed from above. The company notified past claimants, funded independent review, and released employees from confidentiality agreements about access failures. It did so after victim attorneys prepared a collective claim, not because executives suddenly preferred openness. Lenora recovered her necklace before her grandmother's memorial birthday. She chose not to return as a guest. David remained general manager during the audit. Evelyn did not accept his claim that he knew nothing. He knew Adrian repeatedly omitted raw records and that housekeeping staff absorbed each accusation. Not asking for details had protected revenue. Adrian was charged for the thefts and evidence manipulation. Martin surrendered the property and faced a separate investigation. Evelyn gave 6 months' notice. She did not want her final act to be leaving 90 attendants during convention season. She used those months to create a worker-led incident review team with direct access to raw door, seal, and cart records. Then she left before the company could name the program after her. Scene: former hotel guests placing recovered personal objects on a plain table. 8 former guests attended the property return. Their objects varied in value. One watch was worth more than Lenora's necklace. A pair of cufflinks had little resale value but belonged to a guest's late brother. They compared the stories Adrian gave them. He said one guest drank too much, another confused checkout dates, another allowed a visitor into the room. Each explanation used something true and private. Evelyn apologized for accepting incident summaries without asking to see raw events. The guests did not agree on whether the apology was enough. Rosa attended because her name appeared in 2 files besides room 814. She had never entered either room. Adrian selected her routes because she worked fast and sometimes left a cart in the corridor. The collective review cleared 4 attendants and identified 3 unresolved claims with no surviving property. The hotel paid those claims without requiring guests to abandon their accounts. Lenora placed her recovered necklace on the table only long enough for the inventory photograph. She fastened it around her neck herself. Evelyn noticed the clasp was smaller than she expected. The entire system had grown around objects that could disappear inside one hand and doubts that became larger every time the hotel repeated them. She did not give a speech about trust. She signed the return sheet as a witness, not as the person deciding what happened. Scene: hotel workers practicing an incident review in a training room. Evelyn began teaching incident review for a hospitality workers association. Her first class included housekeepers, bell staff, maintenance workers, and 2 hotel security officers. She placed 2 identical seals on the table and asked what they proved. One participant said they proved a room was closed. Evelyn lifted the upper strip and showed the clear adhesive beneath it. They proved only that someone printed 2 seals. She taught workers to preserve layers, request roll records, and separate access from identity. She did not teach ways to defeat locks or safes. The lesson was how to recognize when a summary removed the event that mattered. Rosa later became a floor supervisor at the Halcyon. She sent Evelyn a photograph of a new incident form signed by housekeeping and security together. Evelyn was glad and suspicious in equal measure. Forms worked only when workers could challenge the people collecting them. The Halcyon kept room 814 in service. Guests slept there without knowing why the latch plate had been replaced. Evelyn never returned to inspect it. She kept the duplicate seal in an evidence sleeve. Her employee number remained printed across the center. For one day, that number made her look like the source of a theft. Later, management offered to display the seal in its training office as a symbol of reform. Evelyn refused. The seal belonged in her class, where anyone could lift the first layer and see the second one waiting underneath. Lenora visited one class months later and described how quickly honest omissions became evidence against her. She had lied about reopening the safe because she felt ashamed of needing a lender. Adrian relied on that shame to isolate her account from the physical record. Evelyn asked trainees to write 2 columns, one for facts a person concealed and one for facts the concealment actually disproved. The exercise became the part students remembered. A witness could hide something important and still tell the truth about what someone else took. Evelyn ended each class by returning to the 2 seals. She asked trainees to describe only what they could observe before guessing who applied them. The exercise slowed the instinct to turn one employee number into a complete accusation. That pause was small, inexpensive, and more useful than another poster promising that guest security was everyone's responsibility. And that's the end of this one. If it kept you up, do me one favor, hit subscribe. I tell a new story every single night, and I'd love to have you back. Good night.